What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for September 25th, 2023. It is Eagles game day, and I am your host, Jim Montgomery. Before we get into today's episode, a few housekeeping things. First, I want to apologize for the sound on the video yesterday. I'm not really sure what happened with that. It sounded good during sound checks. There was a couple glitches with the power, I think, yesterday for the internet. So somehow, I don't know if something happened where it changed the setting on the camera. So hopefully this is sounding better today. But I do apologize for those of you who listen on YouTube and the sound was muffled. I think what happened is the microphone didn't pick up and it was picking up through the computer. Again, this is why I need a Baba Booey. So buy more t-shirts. All right, I guess the big news to tackle and kind of go through is it's official that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are together. I guess she was in the box with his mom yesterday. They walked out together at the end of the game. And of course, the big story on Twitter was Eagles fans getting all their panties in a bunch because she's an Eagles fan. I mean, I don't know. I saw some people getting very angry about it. Well, I don't get it. It is what it is. But there you go. I mean, has a Philly sports tie, but I don't know. I like Taylor Swift. I like Travis Kelce. Whatever. I wish them the best of luck. All right. Flyers preseason kicks off tonight against the Devils. Anxious to see. There's some key position battles. So I'll kind of have an ear on that, I guess I could say, while watching the Eagles game. Be sure to watch the latest Back to the Future. Speaking of the Flyers, we took a look at the life and career of Barry Ashby. Just a great, amazing story. So be sure to check that out. It's something I wanted to make sure was highlighted. So Back to the Future with a PH, wherever you get your podcast. All right, good win for the Phils. 5-2. They pushed, like I said, they pushed the game back. Christopher Sanchez looked good. I'm telling you, for my money, he has to be in the rotation for the playoffs. I think at this point, you go Wheeler. I think you go Ranger. I think you go Sanchez. And I feel like you have to go Nola. But there's your four-man rotation right there. And then you got Lorenzen and Walker coming out of the bullpen. For my money, Sanchez has been so consistent since he got into that fifth starter spot. I mean, he just was just amazing last night. 5-2 win. They swept the Mets on top of it all, which is always fun, always good. They got that lead up to 5 now, 4.5 for the first spot. And the magic number to clinch is 1, 2 for the top seed. They could do all of that tomorrow against the Pirates down at Citizens Bank Park. We need to win 2 more games out of the next 6 to win our bet. If they go 3-3, they get to 90 wins. So turning into really quietly, and I think a lot was overshadowed with some of the struggles with some of the guys in the lineup, Trey Turner, Schwarber hitting leadoff, question about Bryce playing first base, and just how good the Braves were. But this is turning into be a very special season for the Phillies. They could actually end up with a decent win total that ranks them in the top 10, I think it was, or roughly. I'll double check on that, but I think it was they have a possibility of having one of the top 10 win totals in Phillies history. So very, very good season for them. Looking forward to them clinching, hopefully tomorrow night down at Citizens Bank Park. Want more Phils coverage? Check out the link in the description. 2008 Phils. Only 6 more games left before this 75% offer is gone. It's exclusive for This Day in Philly Sports History listeners. Get you access to all of their archives, the 2008 World Series shirt, access to autographs and ticket giveaways, as well as 2008 Phils will follow your Twitter account, all for just $2 a month, $20 for the year. Go to the link in the description and check it out. I am off today, and I don't know if you're watching it on YouTube, but I do see the light is fading in and out. I need to get a light for behind my computer. Working on that. So I do apologize again for some of the technical aspects, but this is a one-man operation. I'm trying. All right. Also, I have to point out for Philly Goat, go to phillygoat.com. I just got the email yesterday. The Hunt for Red October shirts are amazing. If you're familiar with the movie and the movie poster with Sean Connery with the sub, kind of on there. They did one with the World Series championship trophy and the Phillie Fanatic. It's phenomenal. So go check that out. The new Hunt for Red October shirts, just in time for the Phillies postseason. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery to get 10% off of your order. It will help with sound checks because maybe I can hire a Baba Booey. I can afford a light, all that other good stuff. But in all seriousness, the shirts were awesome. So go check out phillygoat.com. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for the Hunt for Red October shirts with the Fanatic hunting for the World Series trophy. I gotta love it. Like they do phenomenal things there. You gotta love them. Last thing on the Phillies too. They did it again. The whole Kerkering coming in and showing his dad crying, and then him getting the strikeouts, and then the place going nuts for him. Phillies fans, I'm telling you, we have turned the corner as a fan base, and I think things like that. I mean, that place was rocking for that kid to get those strikeouts. But more importantly than his dad and the emotional and everything side of that, the fact of the matter is, kid is damn good. That could be. I'm anxious to see what the next 6 games brings, because somebody like that who's throwing that much gas out of the bullpen, you might want to keep him on. He certainly earned the shot down in the minors, and I don't know if it. I mean, 6 games to get used to Major League life, but I don't know, man. The dude was throwing some heat, so it's worth monitoring. I think we're going to keep an eye on Kerkering the next 6 games because I want to see if he can if he can do something crazy, like not give up any runs for the next whatever, or hits or whatever. I think you got to think about including him, especially with some of the overworked and tax that has been put on that bullpen recently. So guys that throw hard, you want that, especially in the postseason. So it was a feel-good story, but I'm looking more ahead now. Like, is this kid going to be able to contribute to a postseason run? And I mean, who knows? So keep an eye on this kid. All right, time for our Eagles preview. It is game day. Eagles come in 2-0. I've been going back and forth on this game, and this is one of those games, especially you saw yesterday. Dallas lost to the sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Whew. Dallas lost to the Cardinals. Jacksonville lost to Houston, which killed my survivor pick, but the Eagles could lose this game. 100% Tampa Bay could come in there and beat them. But I think, again, they're getting lucky, just like how they did against New England with the schedule-wise. I think Kansas City losing was sort of like a wake-up call, and they came out kind of fired up. And, again, it's Bill Belichick. I think the fact that all of those teams, those things happen and people are on notice, I think they're on notice now. I think they're going to be more on point, I think, than what they would be. And honestly, I think they're going to come out, and they've had 11 days now to get right, so to speak, from the Minnesota game. And again, there's like 2 plays that go the other way, and all of a sudden we're not really talking about the Eagles' offense being broken. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to take whatever Tampa gives them. And I think Tampa is – they have good defensive coordinator over there. But I think ultimately the Eagles are just a better team. And I can't see that – I can't see a way that they lose this game. Yes, it's 100% possible. I think you're going to see a very motivated Jalen Hurts. I think with all of the things that have happened, I think you might look out for A.J. Brown to have a big game. To the point where they might almost be force-feeding him. And I think they're going to have the chance to run. And I think it's going to be a lot like last year where they're going to get back to, okay, if you're going to give us the middle of the field, we're going to run. If you're going to play 8 in the box, we're going to go over top. And I think it's just going to fall on Jalen. I think he'll be good today. The spread is 5. I think the Eagles win by a touchdown at least, if not more. The over is 45. I really think, I like the over in this game too. I told you at the beginning of the season, sometimes we're going to do it, sometimes we're not. We're 2-1 so far in the season. We got that bad beat last week. I'm going both. I'm taking the Eagles -5 and the over 45. I just think this offense wakes up tonight and they come out and just dominate. It's a primetime game, and the Eagles have been good in primetime games over the past 7 years. They've won 5 of their last 6, but really, and then they've played so many in the past 7 years too, and they've been very, very good on prime time. So it's not like they're going to be intimidated or anything like that. We're going Eagles -5, over 45, putting them both as official bets. Let's see if we can go 4-1 now to start the season. Also, I want to say congratulations to Andy Reid for winning his 271st game, moving him into 4th place all-time, passing. It's just a rough day for the Cowboys yesterday, passing the legendary Tom Landry for 4th place on the all-time coaches win list. But yeah, how about them Cowboys? Are they still them boys? Are they still talking all that trash? It's kind of quiet, and they're like imploding after one loss. Won't be long before you start hearing some of the Trey Lance rumors. Just throwing it out there. Anyway, all right, today we're going to go back to 2007. And on this day, the Phillies did lose to the Braves 10-6. Rollins, Utley, Howard, and Jason Worth all went deep. But for Rollins, it was his 30th homer of the season. And that allowed him to become the second Philly ever behind Bobby Abreu in 2004 to join the exclusive 30-30 club. Only 44 players have ever hit 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases in a season, including Jimmy Rollins. That 2007 season was just a ridiculous season for him, though. He played in every single game that year, 30 homers, 94 RBIs, 20 triples, 38 doubles, 1 gold glove, and 1 big guarantee that the Phillies were the team to beat, which he did back up. He also that season became 1 of 4 to be in the 20-20-20-20 club, which is 20 homers, 20 doubles, 20 stolen bases, and 20 triples in the same season. He achieved that the last game of the season. His last final at bat, he hit a triple. On this day, though, the Phillies were 2 games back with 5 to play, and we all know how that season ended up turning out. Jimmy said we're the team to beat, went out and proved it, and the Mutts were the team to choke. But on this day, it was Jimmy Rollins joining the 30-30 club after hitting a home run in a 10-6 loss to Atlanta. He would go on to win the MVP. The Phillies did win the NL East that year, and Jimmy Rollins took home the MVP. We'll have a future episode coming up very soon on Jimmy Rollins on Back to the Future about his Hall of Fame status, so stay tuned for that. All right, time for Who Wore It Best, and number 28 yesterday, it was Claude Giroux coming in with 61% of the votes. There was a late push for Bill Bradley, who is the Eagles' all-time interception leader. But on this day, it was Claude Giroux coming in. So Claude Giroux wore number 28 the best, according to you, the fans. All right, so in honor of J-Roll and joining the 30-30 club on this day in history, we're going to look at number 11 today. And currently, A.J. Brown, Travis Konechny, and Jaden Springer are our number 11s. Some notables, Vernon Maxwell, Drew Holiday, Nick Stauskas, Kevin Dineen, Mark Recchi for the half a year when he was traded back to the Flyers, wore number 11. John Kruk wore it for 2 years, one of 3 numbers I think he wore as in his time at the Phillies. Tim Carver, my dad's favorite player, Clay Dalrymple, all wore number 11. We are going to go with 4 guys for number 11, Rollins obviously being one of them. So we got J-Roll. The other 3, though, this one is going to be controversial, so I'll just start right off with it. Carson Wentz. And for all of what he did and did not do during his time here, the Eagles do not go to that Super Bowl without his play the first, 11, 12 games of that season. So we're going to include him on there just for that. Carson Wentz, more so for that 2017 13-game, 12-game run, whatever. We're going to put him in. Another somewhat maybe controversial one, we're going to stick with Eagles quarterbacks, and we're going to go Norm Van Brocklin. Norm Van Brocklin was only here for 3 years. He is a Hall of Famer, spent most of his career with the Rams. However, he did lead the Eagles to one of their 4 championships in team history. He was the quarterback of the 1960 NFL champion Eagles with Chuck Bednarik. So we are going to include Van Brocklin. So Van Brocklin and Wentz, I could not choose which one to leave on or off, so we're going to keep it. And then finally, we have Caldwell Jones, who came over from the ABA around the same time as Dr. J when that league was folding. He was a 2-time all-defensive player for the Sixers, a big part of some of those finals runs in 77, in 80, 81. However, just could not get over the hump, and perhaps one of the more bigger claim to fame for Caldwell Jones is he was one of the guys included in the trade that brought Moses Malone to the Sixers, which ultimately led to the Sixers winning the championship. So now it's your turn. And I do know who my pick would be, but we're throwing it out there in honor of Jimmy Rollins joining the 30-30 Club. Who wore number 11 best? Is it J-Roll? Is it Wentz? Is it Caldwell Jones? Or is it Norm Van Brocklin? You tell me. Get those votes in. I think the rain's going to stop today, so if you want to send smoke signals, you might be okay. On this day, as I mentioned, Jimmy Rollins joined the 30-30 Club, the second Philly in history to do that. It's him and Bobby Abreu. We will be doing a future episode on J-Roll later. Might even include some Bobby Abreu in there too. But be sure, best way to stay in the loop is to like and subscribe. Eagles Bucks tonight. They got the early game on Monday Night Football, which is really nice. I'm starting to dig that a lot. We're taking the Eagles -5 and the over 45. I look for the Eagles to win big, probably put up 30 themselves. And if I'm wrong, at least the Cowboys lost. But be sure to go to Philly Goat. Check out those Hunt for Red October shirts. Check out my buddies over the Clashing Conferences podcast. See how their picks and trash talk for the NFC East worked out this week. I'll give you a spoiler alert. Not very well going into tonight's game for the Eagles. But check it out. It's still a lot of fun anywhere you get your podcasts as well as on YouTube. Phils have a much-needed day off before going through the final 6-game sprint to end their season. They only need to win 1 game to make the playoffs. But let's go and be greedy and win the 2 to get that top seed. Flyers back in action tonight. Be sure to check out Back to the Future. If you're off today, enjoy your day off. If you're working, hopefully it goes fast for you because it is an Eagles game day. But this has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Monday. And until next time, go Birds.